The Richmond Item newspaper of 21st March 1930 mentioned that Mrs. L. L. Kolb, the former Mary Gallahan, nominated Ellen Cole Fetter for the state roll of honor as a women's suffrage pioneer of Indiana. Who was Ellen Cole Fetter? Mrs. Fetter's memoirs detail her life on the frontier. Ellen Cole Fetter, or Aunt Nell to her many relatives and friends, was the widow of Harry G. Fetter. Ellen Cole first saw the light in 1837 in a log cabin in Peru, Indiana, on the southwest corner of 3rd and Broadway, where the Blue Drug Store was located for many years. Today it is known as the Hertique. Ellen was the youngest daughter of Albert Cole and his wife Mary Galpin. She had 3 sisters and 2 brothers. Nearly 9 years younger than her brother Omar, she was the first native Hoosier of her immediate family. Peru then was a frontier trading village at the border of the Miami Indian Reservation. It was a decade or more until the Miami tribe was removed to Indian territory. The early memories of the little girl Ellen were filled with impressions of these frontier scenes, and she spoke of them often in her later years. She was spunky and free-spirited, and it makes perfect sense that she would end up what they called a well-known club woman, always trying to make a difference for her fellow man. Friday, October 8, 1914. In response to a newspaper notice, 16 women met at the Peru Public Library to hear an address by Dr. Amelia Keller, State President of the Women's Franchise League of Indiana. Miss Henton, who had called the ladies together, acted as temporary secretary of the meeting. After an instructive and entertaining speech on suffrage, Dr. Keller stated that the real object of the meeting was to organize a Peru branch of the League, which would make it the 78th branch in the state. The ladies present were most enthusiastic, and a permanent branch was organized by Miss Henton, assisted by Dr. Keller. Ellen Cole Fetter was chosen first League president, with Marie Edwards as her vice president. Few meetings were held during the first year, and the club did not grow much beyond the original members until November 1915. On November 13, 1915, a meeting was held at the home of Marie Edwards. That day the membership increased to 51, accounting for all present. New officers were elected to serve, and Marie Edwards took charge as president with Ellen Fetter as her VP. By March 25th, when the 11th District meeting of the Franchise League was held in Library Hall, the membership had grown to 110, twice the size of any league in the district and 3rd largest in the state. The morning business session adjourned with a luncheon at the Bars Hotel and an automobile drive around the city. During the afternoon session, Mrs. James Morrison of Chicago answered many of the principal anti-suffrage arguments. A yellow Easter sale at the public library raised $74 on April 8th. The League provided a float for the Centennial Parade and distributed literature from a street booth. The ladies visited the polling place on Election Day and distributed 3,500 pieces of literature. The League continued to grow under Marie Edwards' care and the women who followed her as presidents, Helen Royce Shirk and Grace Armitage Hawley. When the 19th Amendment passed in June 1919, the suffragists of Peru gathered at the League headquarters at the Chamber of Commerce on East 3rd Street and marched in a parade to the courthouse. It is the only ever suffrage parade held in Miami County. The ratification was not dismissed, but there was no parade in Peru that day. The women of Peru had helped in the big banquet in Chicago that marked the official creation of the League of Women Voters, of which Marie Edwards became the first treasurer. The State League switched to the League of Women Voters in April, and on December 14, 1920, the Leagues of Miami County all merged into the Miami County League of Women Voters. Space forbids more than a mere indication of a few phases of her many-sided life. During the Civil War, she was most active in the work of the Christian Sanitary Commission in this county. Both in Peru and Logansport, she was for many years an active worker and member of the Episcopalian parishes. With a great fondness for reading, she was a charter member of the oldest surviving literary societies, the Drama League and the Art Clubs of Peru. She had a talent for amateur theatricals, and her inimitable portrayals of Mrs. Jarley in benefit entertainments in this and nearby town, and her acting in the role of the school marm in the famous district school benefit for the Methodist Church, which crowded the Opera House 2 successive nights in the winter of 1889 and 1890, was remembered by the many residents of Peru at the time of her passing in 1934 at the age of 97. Besides being the first president of the Peru Franchise League, she was an honorary member of the National League of Women Voters to the end of her life. In 1930, her name was indeed placed by the Indiana State League on the Scroll of Honor of the Suffrage Pioneers of the state, a record kept at the national headquarters of the League of Women Voters in Washington. On her 90th birthday, her family established the Ellen Cole Fetter Books Fund for the public library. She took particular pride in the inscription, "A Daughter of Indiana," on the bookplate used in the books in this collection.
I'm Brenda Weaver, and I'm the president of the Miami County Indiana Worth Remembering. When we submitted our plans to the humanities, we were going to do a bust for the library of her. Was it going to work? And our organization hired Kelly Meadows. She's a watercolor painter from the county. This will hang upstairs in the Sharon Edwards Memorial Room, which is where we meet every Friday for Miami County, Indiana Worth Remembering. The Peru Franchise League met where we meet, and that is just amazing to me after all these years.
Well, it was an honor and a privilege to be asked to paint this portrait. I've been painting portraits for a while, for about 10 years, and when I was asked to do this, I was given a picture of her, and that's what I used for the basis of the painting. She was very active in a lot of other issues in Miami County, but we're honoring her for being the first president of the Peru Franchise League. And so she was very much involved in the suffrage movement. I did some time period research on the garments that they wore and that sort of thing, colors. And so I chose, working from a black and white portrait, I tried to use colors that were used during that time period. So, oh, and one other thing I wanted to say was she left a fund of money that still supports the buying of books for here at this library. So her legacy continues on. Are we ready to unveil?
Yes. All right, just let it fall.
Oh, isn't that lovely?
Beautiful.
I hope it does her justice.
In my Margaret, she become the suffragette. My heart is a one shipwreck. She wear the pants that kill a romance all day. Daffy like a dilly, poor old wop. Oh, to my eyes come the big teardrop. No more I eat spaghetti since my Margaret become the suffragette. That's all right. Since my Margaret, she become the suffragette, she said to me, "Hey, Tony, play me a little Spanish. I want to shoot at the bull." Since Margaret, she got the habit, no more I got the home like a rabbit. Poor Anton, he must sleep with the monk alone. Like busy bee, I make the honey. She call me trash and take the money. My bank book limp gets so small like the shrimp. In my business, she put one a big shrimp. Since my Margaret, she become the suffragette. My heart is one shipwreck. She wears the pants that kill a romance all day. That feel like a dilly poor old wop. Oh, to my eyes come the big teardrop. No more I eat spaghetti since my Margaret become the suffragette.